blocking the road to London. Spearmen, axemen, swordsmen, the warriors of the field, the professional soldiers of the households and the huscarls, they are here to defend Saxon England, to defend the Saxon order, and to ensure that the invader is thrown back into the sea. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the forces of Saxon England! Forces continue to pour onto this ridgeline. 3 vast blocks, a left wing, a centre block and a right block as well. There is no way that William of Normandy will push past them without a fight. Now King Harold's forces are in position, but we do not yet have King Harold himself. Where is the king? Where is the Saxon King of England? He must be here to lead his men in battle personally. But wait, what's this? I see a rider upon a horse. I see 2 riders, one carrying Harold Godwinson's personal banner, the scarlet banner with the white fighting man of Wessex. This is the Earl of Wessex as well as the King of England. Yes, the King is here! King Harold Godwinson is here! His troops kneel to pay homage before their liege lord. Ladies and gentlemen, the King of England is here! Give him a cheer! And of course, on the eve of battle, the King must address his troops, a speech on the eve of slaughter, to gird their hearts and prepare them for the battle to come. So now listen, all loyal subjects, the King would speak with you.
Remember the stories of Alfred, told by your fathers. This land has a spirit that could not be subdued by the Danes, was not broken by Hardrada, and will not be humbled by this cutthroat William the Bastard. You are gathered here today from all over our land. You fight today for your families and your homes, but most of all for your freedom. The man you face today is a cruel and vicious warlord. He will strip us of everything we live for, burn our houses, slaughter our livestock, rape our women and murder our children. We stand between him and his evil ambition. We stand together. Our shield wall will never break. Men of England, stand with me until victory is ours!
Ladies and gentlemen, stirring words, give it up for King Harold Godwinson, the King of Saxon England! Well, certainly the King of England has put fire into the bellies of his warriors here. They are up for the fight. They are willing to stand in the battle line against their foeman, the invader, the foreign army that Duke William of Normandy has brought to these shores. And speaking of which, I see a second host of warriors, 4 spearmen at the bottom of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, the Norman army is upon us! Give it up and make some noise for Duke William of Normandy! His invasion force has pushed inland, and now they are here on the road to London. And all that stands between them and putting a Norman king on the throne is this English-Saxon army holding the road to London, holding this ridgeline, forcing the Normans to attack uphill, because they will attack. It will come to battle. And here they are with all the might of the invasion force. 10,000 men the Duke has brought here to the southern shores. His half-brother, Bishop Odo, is blessing the army, an army blessed by God. So listen now to the pious words and the blessing of Bishop Odo.
Animarum perdugantior mundo divina virtute infernum detrude, in nomine Patri et Filius et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Because yes, Duke William does indeed have the blessing of God, or so he claims. But his claims are backed up by the papal banner, the gonfalon carried by William's own bannerman on horseback, a banner blessed by the hand of the Pope in Rome himself, symbolic of the fact that this is a holy army come to do God's bidding. And now it is William's turn to speak to his men, to address them and to bring fire into their bellies. Listen now to William, Duke of Normandy, as he addresses his warriors.
You have travelled with me on a great voyage to fight on a distant shore. You have done so in the noble tradition of our fighting ancestors. This fight was not of our making, nor was it born from the desire for naked conquest. This land was rightfully granted to me by King Edward of England, a wise and gentle king. We are here to claim what is rightfully ours. The Pope knows this and gives us his holy blessing. The rest of Europe knows this and lends its support. The richest land in Northern Europe is before you. Fight to make it a Norman kingdom for your children and your grandchildren. Fight and take what is yours by right. Fight and be victorious!
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for William, Duke of Normandy! It doesn't have to be positive noise as long as you make some noise. This is William, Duke of Normandy, the man who would be William the Conqueror. Well, the two sides are arrayed for battle. How will the battle commence? Well, I can tell you that Duke William has chosen a champion. A single knight, the best of his warriors, a knight known as Taillefer. He shall ride forward and challenge the Saxon army to single combat. What could be more heroic than that? What could show God's divine intervention and sending one man forward to engage in single combat? And if he is victorious, it will demonstrate the Lord has chosen the Normans to be the victorious side. So Taillefer, the warrior poet, Taillefer, the man who juggles his sword as he rides, Taillefer, the bravest of the brave, shall now come forward to show himself to the Norman army. There he is on his jet black steed, the champion of the Normans. Again, make some noise for the champion of the Norman army, Taillefer the warrior. comes. He supposedly had the Song of Roland, a famous Norse song, on his lips as he galloped up the hill to engage in single combat. So cheer now for the champion of the Norman army! What's this? The champion has been brought down. Talifer, the champion, has been brought low. He's been unhorsed. Is this a symbol of God's favour of the Saxon English? If it is, then cheer now for the Saxon English. The first blood to the King of England. Well, it seems that William is not necessarily too put out. He now explains his terror tactics to his Bishop Odo as he unleashes his first assault. So let's now listen to Bishop Odo and William.
So, this is the mighty English army? Is this all that the whole kingdom could muster? I felt sure they would outnumber us 2-1. Our first attack will sweep them aside.
Do not underestimate them, my brother. They fight for their homes, their lands, their families. They will fight well, and we are still slightly outnumbered. But you are right, not by as many as I'd expected. God is truly on our side. Their ranks have been filled by their battles with the Vikings in the north, and it seems that we have also spent the last 2 weeks conquering them. And so, my lord, by laying waste to the land hereabouts with fire and sword, and giving our soldiers the pleasure of plunder and pillage for 2 weeks, we have forced Harold's hand. We destroyed, 20 villages? As for towns, we burned Pevensey, Bexhill, Aylsham, Hastings, and have slaughtered his people by the 100. He could not allow his subjects to endure such terror any longer. Harold has galloped south at great speed, leaving a large part of his army to follow on foot. This proves God's blessing on our endeavor. Now, let us slaughter this English army, and quickly, before they are reinforced.
And so William unleashes the first of his warriors. His archers begin to rain arrows down upon the Saxon shield wall. The arrows arc high into the sky, attempting to rain them down upon the heads of the Saxon foemen. Volley after volley of arrows raining down in a rain of steel upon their heads. William is hoping to soften the ranks of the Saxons, to pick off leaders, to bring down huscarls. Hopefully the arrows can find a chink in the armour of their foemen. But archers will do merely the softening up work. To actually win this fight, Duke William will need to unleash his infantry. And I can see now that the infantry are about to move. Behind the archers, the battle lines of the Norman warriors are beginning to step forward. Yes, here they come. The Norman army is on the march. Can anything stand in the face of this irresistible force of armoured warriors as they make their way up the hill? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whether you be Saxon or Norman, now is the time to cheer your chosen side, to encourage them, to spur them on to victory. Cheer now for victory! They close the distance. They almost meet. And they're in! And now the deadly work of the warriors begins in earnest. Thrusting with spears, chopping with axes, hewing with swords as they clash shield to shield, toe to toe, and attempt the grisly work of cutting down the foeman in front. Neither side giving ground. The arrows and the stones continue to rain down. Is either side winning? Is either side losing? No, it looks like both are holding their ground. The honours are even at present. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, we can do this with one push. Either push the Normans down the hill or break through to London, and whether you be Saxon or Norman, cheer now for victory! Well, neither side has an edge, but all the Saxons have to do is hold their ground and they could win the battle. Yes, it seems as though the Normans have failed to make an impression. The Normans are beginning to disengage. Round one to the Saxon forces of England! Yes, the Norman infantry are indeed disengaging. They've not managed to break through the might and the ranks of the Saxon shield wall. But wait, what is behind the Norman infantry? Norman horsemen, knights and warriors on horseback, the secret weapon of William, Duke of Normandy. Infantry can't break through, then maybe his cavalry can. Warriors not on foot but on horseback, riding huge war horses, armed and armoured to the teeth. Surely they can break through the Saxon shield wall. Yes, see the horsemen, see their banners. The Duke is with them. I think he may even personally lead his forces, his men on horseback, into battle. The Norman infantry give ground to open up a space for the conroys, the squadrons of Duke William's men to gallop up the hill on horseback. And when they come, the ground will tremble beneath the steel-shod hooves of their mighty war horses. Many Saxon warriors will be trembling. They withstood the onslaught of the Norman heavy infantry. They have not yet faced the Norman heavy cavalry. And yes, there is the Duke. There is the papal banner. The horsemen are moving. This is the throw of the dice that will bring victory to Duke William of Normandy. Surely. Here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, again make some noise for the warriors and the horses of the conroys of Duke William of Normandy! Here they come, galloping with all the speed that they can muster, thrusting home with the spears over the tops of their shields, hacking with their swords, crushing blows with their maces. Have they broken the shield wall? No, but they will go again. Look, the Conroy commanders spur their horses on. They will attack a second time. This time surely the Saxons will break. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're cheering for the Saxons, then cheer now, because they've stood firm. They've seen off the Norman horsemen as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Saxon shield wall has stood firm yet again. Once more, a cheer for King Harold Godwinson and Saxon England! So, this is going to be a battle of attrition. The Duke has thrown in his heavy infantry. They have made no impact. He's thrown in his heavy cavalry. They too incredibly failed to make an impact. He must therefore unleash his archers again. With the ballistic weapons, the arrows and the stones, maybe he can soften up the English ranks. Maybe he can cause enough casualties for gaps to appear that his infantry and his cavalry can exploit. This will be a long business. This will be a bloody business. But both sides are determined to have victory before the day is out. Yes, the Norman infantry are going to make a second assault. They have cavalry to their flanks. They have archers in front, softening up the enemy. Maybe now enough casualties have been sustained by the Saxons that this time, this second infantry assault will breach the line. On the left-hand side of the Norman army, the Bretons come up first. Norman knights in the centre. And more on the right-hand side. Yes, here they come. The might of the Norman army is once again arrayed before the Saxons, and once again they shall attempt to storm this hilltop. Here they come, the Bretons on the left flank of the Normans, facing the right flank of the Saxons. They come on first. Brave men. Here they come. In echelon formation up the hill. The warriors will pit themselves once again against the Saxon shield wall. Here they come, here they come! They crash into the Saxon line! This time the forces of Normandy must surely break the Saxons, surely! So once again, cheer for your chosen side, to gird the warriors and put fire into their bellies. Cheer now for victory! And the Bretons of the Norman army there, fighting bravely. They're at risk of being outnumbered out there on that flank, but they're fighting bravely nonetheless. But wait, what's this? The Bretons are running! The Bretons of the Norman left flank are running! They've broken! The English are pursuing! Could this be victory for the Saxon army? But no, Duke William has thrown his convoys of horsemen to try and stem the Breton rout. His horsemen are moving into the melee. Can they stop the headlong flight of the Breton left flank? They look hard pressed. The English are fighting well. There's a huge battle developing halfway down the battlefield. The retreating Bretons have stopped their headlong flight, but the Saxons are still fighting. It looks like Duke William will now have to lead the rest of his horsemen into action in person to ensure victory. Here he comes! I can see the banner, I can see William with his red cloak and his red helmet. He's leading his troops into battle personally. There's great danger here for Duke William, but if he loses the battle at this early stage, there is no point in even fighting. So he takes the risk. He's fighting himself. Look, there he is in the swirling melee. Cheer now for Duke William of Normandy, leading his troops in person. Well, it seems as though the Breton rout has been stemmed. The Norman infantry are once again in one line. But wait, what is this? A rumour spreads like wildfire through the Norman army. Has the Duke been unhorsed? Is Duke William dead? Where is the Duke? Can anyone see Duke William? Is all lost for the Norman side? Has the Duke been killed? Could this mean victory for the Saxons? Well, armies of this medieval age are dependent upon their leaders. If one king or duke dies, it very quickly turns into retreat and then a rout. Wherever the Duke is, if he still lives, he must show himself to his army. He must show that he still lives. But wait, I see a figure with a red cloak remounting a horse. He could be wounded, but he is still alive. Ladies and gentlemen, Duke William still lives. And he now rides before his army to show that he is still alive.
Look at me! Look at me! See my face! I still live! Those English sons of Hans can't kill me! Their sword arms are as weak as their king! But I am strong! We are strong! And together we shall go up that hill and slay the usurper Harold! I will lead you there! I am William, Duke of Normandy, but by nightfall I shall be William, King of England!
The Duke is alive! Let's hear it for Normandy! Well, that was a moment of danger for the Norman army, but the Duke proves what a ruthless and tough warrior he is. Unhorsed, he nevertheless calls up a fresh mount and will lead his forces to victory. So the Duke must now decide how best he is to defeat the enemy. But he's given an idea. When his Breton left flank routed, the English chased them down the hill, thereby leaving the security of Senlac Ridge in the shield wall. Maybe he can use that aggression on the Saxon line to his advantage. Maybe he can turn aggression into foolhardy action. Whatever the case may be, he sends his horsemen up to fight the English left flank. And here come the Knights of Normandy once again. Here they come, Franco-Flemish horsemen galloping up the hill to engage the Saxon left flank. But wait, they retreat. And what's this? What's this? What's this? Surely Norman knights cannot be retreating, running away. Not Norman knights on horseback, but no, this was another of William of Normandy's tricks. He has lured a huge amount, a third of the Saxon army down the hill. And now look, they are fighting for their lives, unsupported. They can be defeated in detail, and the rest of the Saxon shield wall can only look on in horror, as fully a third of their army is cut down before their very eyes. Disaster for Saxon England. And those Franco-Flemish riders proved that their retreat was just a feigned retreat, a trick. They come back for more, to taunt the Saxons, to show that they've got the blood of Saxons on their spears and swords. Ladies and gentlemen, disaster for Saxon England. How will King Harold stem this disaster? He will have to show himself to his army. He will now march forward with his hussars to give a speech to the Saxons, to tell them to hold firm. They must hold firm.
Men of England, stand firm. Stand your ground and hold the shield wall. If the shield wall holds, we hold. And if we hold, England holds. William the Bastard is a master of trickery. His feigned retreat fooled our left wing, and many brave warriors have fallen, including my own brother. But with God's help, we can still bring an end to this Norman blight upon our land. Do not make the same mistake of leaving the shield wall. If we can but hold until nightfall, then reinforcements will come to our aid, and we shall make an end of these invaders once and for all. So stand firm, and the only land we'll give up to William the Bastard will be 6 feet of English earth for his grave!
Well, they're brave words from King Harold there. Brave words indeed, but things look dire for the Saxons. They've lost a third of their army. And now Duke William is ready to unleash his forces for a third time on the shield wall. So earlier on we saw Duke William take a risk by leading his troops personally in combat. Now King Harold takes the same risk. His men must see him, they must stand firm. Surrounded by his hussars and his personal troops, he pushes forward down the line. He's pushing down the hill a few paces so that his shield wall may see him. But now he is dreadfully exposed to the archers Look, they have seen the king's standard and they rain down arrows upon the king and his men. What's this? Has the king been struck by an arrow?
An arrow! He's hit! I saw him stagger! Oh, my lord! Goldwyn, sir! By the grace of God, Harold has been hit! I'm sure it was him. By the blood of Christ, my archers have earned their pay today.
If King Harold was indeed struck, then the arrow was truly guided by God, your grace, and we must give thanks to him.
Yes, there will be time enough for that after we've won. Now, I saw him struck in the head, but his armor may have protected him. If he is merely wounded, we must make sure, and quickly, before nightfall is upon us. I need men to finish him off. Eustace! Take Ponthieu and Giffard! Spur your horses up the hill and finish that dog, Harold! And took them for the man who brings me his head! Signal the advance. Throw every man we have into the assault. We'll finish this now!
And so, King Harold Godwinson, the King of England, is wounded, struck by an arrow. His Huscarls, his personal bodyguards, surround him. They will not allow him to be killed or captured. And Duke William sees the opportunity. And he throws his men in one last throw of the dice, one last clash of steel. The infantry will go in, the cavalry will go in. The king, if he can be found, will be slaughtered as he lies wounded upon the ground. And now a swirling, confused battle develops. William's knights have been sent to finish the job that his archers started. Norman horsemen surround the Huscarls of the king. Duke William himself leads them. He will cut off the head of of Harold Godwinson, the King of England. The Saxon shield wall is collapsing. The Normans are rolling it up from either flank. This is disaster. The Saxon shield wall has been overcome. The last brave Huscarls, the last brave Saxon warriors are falling to the ground. They lie thickly strewn, the blood soaking into the grass. Is there a Saxon left alive? Just some of the Huscarls, just some of the Saxon Hearthguard, guarding the body of King Harold Godwinson of England. And the Saxon Hearthguard, guarding the king's body, go down one by one. One by one, his brave personal warriors die, guarding the body of King Harold. There is not a single Saxon left on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, victory for Normandy! But for the Normans, this victory is of course down to God's blessing. And Bishop Odo demands that his warriors kneel.
Soldiers, warriors, on your knees. God's work has truly been done this day. Bow your heads in prayer and let us thank him for his blessings on this field of victory.
So the Norman army drops to its knees. The Norman soldiers drop to their knees to give thanks to God.